should happen is that it would come up at the top. Yep, that you're recording, that's great. And then I now need to go split screen, which will take a few seconds to come on. So you should go split screen in a second or two. There we go. Right, good. So that's today's lesson, all right? So we're just going to be factorising quadratics with a coefficient of x squared that's greater than 1. And I'm sure you'll all be delighted to see that Teacher Maths Hub has been my source of material here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to model a couple of these. If you're confident, you're very welcome to start having, I don't want to say having a go, to start trying these questions yourself at the moment. I'm going to model it, okay? So I'm just about to detach my keyboard, so it'll get a bit noisy, and the picture will move for a second. Okay, so I'm just going to remind you how to do this. So with that first one, so if you could just copy out the first one, please, that 2a squared plus 7a plus 3. And remember what the process is. So you're going to start off by trying to work out two numbers that multiply to be the 6. Now, where's that 6 come from? That's that 2 multiplied by that plus 3. So our two magic numbers multiply to be 6. Just get my microphone in a bit of place. So they multiply to be that 6, and yet at the same time they add to be that 7. That's what we're used to. That's just the coefficient of the a. So what two numbers multiply by 6 but add to be 7? That's 1 and 6. So it'd be great if we could go to the final answer at this point, and we could just say, just get our brackets straight away, but we can't. So what we're going to have to do now is just to split this middle 7a term down into 1a and 6a. It doesn't matter which way round. So I'm going to go 2a squared plus 6a plus 1a, which is just plus a, plus 3. Okay, so at the moment we've just made it more complicated. We've gone from 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, to 4 terms. Now, what you do at this point, you then fully factorise the opening 2 terms, the 2a squared and the 6a. So just think about it. If we're fully factorising that, we can take out a 2 and we can take out an a. Then we open up the brackets and say 2a times what gives us 2a squared? That's an a. And then moving on, 2a times what gives us a 6a? That's the 3. We then move on to terms 3 and 4 and fully factorise again, but bearing in mind we want to have a repeated bracket. So we can see that if we just take out a plus 1, we then get an a plus 3 again, and we've got what we were looking for. We were looking for that repeated bracket, the a plus 3 repeating. And then our final answer is in a bracket 2a plus 1 and a plus 3. Now it's a very sort of awkward process going downwards, but it totally makes sense when you look at it going the other way. If we were multiplying out this pair of brackets, we start off with the 2a and multiply by the a to get the 2a squared. That's what we've got up there. The 2a times the 3 is the 6a. The 1 times the a is the a, and the 1 times the 3 is the 3. And then we gather our like terms, and there we go, we get our 7a. So looking at it the other way around, it kind of makes sense, but going the way we're doing it, it all seems a bit awkward. So that's the first one. So if you're watching this later on the video and the recording, you can pause it now if you're still trying to copy that down. I'm going to move on and start doing that second one, which has got the negative in it. Okay, so while I'm just clearing the screen, if you guys just want to start thinking about that second one, please. Excuse me. Right, so moving on to the second one. So we've got to multiply to be what the 2 times the minus 4 is, which is minus 8. And we've got to add to be 2, which is that 2 there, the coefficient of the x. Okay, so what two numbers multiply to be minus 8 but add to be 2? Well, 2 and 4 are good because 2 4s are 8 and I've got a difference of 2. Then make sure you get the sign the right way around. It's going to be a minus 2 because minus 2 times plus 4 is minus 8. The minus 2 added to 4 is plus 8. Okay, so let's then just go and split this middle term using those two that we've just got. So we're just going to break that 2x down into minus 2x and plus 4x. Doesn't matter which way around, so it's totally up to you. So I'm going to go 2x squared. I like to get the big one out of the way first. So I'm going to go plus 4x, then minus 2x, then minus 4. So just to clarify, all we've done at the moment is we've broken down this plus 2x into plus 4x and minus 2x. Okay, so at this point we seem to have made it more complicated. But remember, going the other direction, we're just gathering our like terms to get our plus 2x. So next step, fully factorise the first two terms. So we take out a 2x, open bracket x plus 2, and then repeat, but be careful with what number you take out first, what you take out of the bracket, because remember, we want the x plus 2 repeating. So if we take out a minus 2, not a plus 2, take out a minus 2, we do indeed get an x plus 2, is minus 2x, and minus 2 times plus 2 is a minus 4, so we've got the repeated bracket. So our final answer are the components that presently aren't in a bracket. Actually thinking about it, I didn't mention that earlier on when I did number 1, did I? So our final pair of brackets comprises the repeated bracket, so the x plus 2, but also the two components that are not in the bracket, so the 2x and the minus 2. So that's the process. So I want you to go and try that question there, please. All right. And again, you're only really going to be able to do that when the video stops. Okay. So that is going to give you an answer of 2t minus 3, 2t minus 2. Okay, so just practice that one. Now, what we're now going to go on to is just a page full of questions. So as I said at the beginning, you're not going to be able to do these now because I want to keep this video quite short. Okay, so you're just going to, maybe you can just have a quick look at the first one or two and quickly write those down. But I'm planning on just putting the questions onto the board, okay, for a few seconds, then the answers for a few seconds, then I'll stop the video, okay. Obviously, please, if you're going to then start unmuting and talking to each other, that's fine. You're very welcome to do so, but please don't do so until I've stopped the video, and that takes me about 30 seconds to get sorted. You know what I'm like with technology, okay? And then I will then leave the meeting, and then if you guys want to chat afterwards, obviously you're welcome to do so. But do just bear in mind that this is a a King's School platform, and anybody could be listening in from the teaching staff. So don't be silly, please. So if you just want to just be, have a nice chat with each other, that's absolutely fine. But nothing silly, please. And as I said, just to reiterate, please don't do anything until you're sure that the recording stopped. Okay. Right. Just before I forget, remember what the policy is with regard to your grades this summer. Okay. In a way, you're in quite a nice situation if you've already got some good grades under your belt, because any work you provide can only enhance your grade. It can't go down. Obviously, if you're one of these who is relying on working very hard over Easter and you haven't done great up to now, that's counting against you a bit. But what you can do, you can obviously certainly make sure you upload that past paper 6 to me. Okay, and lots of you have done so far. I've had it from Josh, Marcus, Owen, Alicia, Tilly, Christian, Alex, and Sophie. Okay, so lots of you have done that. I don't see there's a lot of point in you just uploading a paper for me to mark that the answers are freely available on the internet, because you could obviously have copied those. Now, what I can do, if any of you are particularly worried that you haven't got enough credit in the bank, I can probably send you some paper from a long time ago, taking out the cover. Okay, I could possibly give you a few hours to do it, and then you get it back to me, and really you're just not going to have time to research that on the internet and to try and find which paper it was. So one or two of you may feel you need to do that. Okay, anyway, back to this lesson. Okay, so those are the whole bunch of questions. So perhaps just make a quick note, say, of the top line. Okay, so if you want to, I can read them out to you if you like. Okay, because we're going from ones that are easier to middle to difficult. So the first one is 2a squared plus 7a plus 3. Then in the middle column, we've got 2x squared plus 2x minus 4. And in the right-hand column, we've got 4t squared minus 10t plus 6. Okay, now there are 9 questions there for you to do. So if you want to practice this for the full 50 minutes, I think that would be very worthwhile. Okay, I'm just about to put the answers up. Okay, and then I'm going to stop the video. And as I said, that will upload onto Teams, the post page, you know, where we're all saying hi beforehand, in about 10 minutes. And then I'm also putting it onto Maths by Mr. Withers YouTube, because I'm not sure whether everybody can access Teams as well necessarily as they can to YouTube. I'm not sure yet. Okay, guys, so here are the answers. Okay, so those are the answers. So that's the end of the video. So take care, guys. I can't remember if we've got a lesson tomorrow or not. If we don't, have a super Easter break. And as I said, don't start chatting, please, until I have stopped the video, which will just take me a minute or two. Right, pressing stop recording. Is it coming up? Let's just give it a moment. Yes, so the stop